Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Live from Bauhaus Studios in beautiful downtown Port Credit, it's the Tom and Rick Show for Wednesday, August the 20th. Tonight, we have local Port Credit business owner and King of Canada Day, John Botzel. From the Town of Port Credit Association, we have Mary Simpson. Musical guest tonight is Queen Pepper. Also tonight, an exclusive premiere of a new music video from the Matte Black Finish featuring Gracie Ella. Cooking with Carson. And tonight's guest under cover of night is Chris Chambers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Tom and Rick.
Good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is you're watching that. Welcome to the Tom and Rick Show. Rick, you smell fantastic.
Well, if TV could smell, you'd smell it too.
A quick update from the BIA. The East Village Classic Car Show continues with 50 classic cars and 9 musicians. Great cars and great music. So check that out. And remember, if you're driving south on here, Ontario, hang a left. There's lots of great stuff down there, including a fantastic bakery. We'll get back to that later, maybe. A large Muskoka chair is being placed at the Lighthouse for great pics in front of the marina. I think that's going to be a cool sort of photo op for Port Credit. Support the Port is at $18,300. That's an initiative with the support from a bunch of businesses in Port Credit to support Compass. It's a fantastic charity. They're at $18,300, a mere $1,700 away from $20K. And when they reach $20K, they're going to send that in one of those big fancy checks to Compass. The Port Credit BIA says, please follow them on Instagram, Port Credit BIA. And beautiful things are happening in town. There is live music. Rick,
There certainly
what is
is.
happening?
I did a gig. They're out there. Shout out to Timothy's. I was at Timothy's this past weekend. But in the village, we have at the shore. Friday night is Mike Forfolia with Jeff Egger. Saturday night, it's our buddy Stan on Kings Highway.
Great
and Sunday is going to be this guy here filling in for Dave Murphy. 5 to 8 Sunday in the back at shore there. And at Spice, we have Rocky and Sarah on Saturday. And Sunday, you have the lovely, wonderful, talented 3 to 7 Gracie. Gracie's going to be on the patio at Spice Sunday.
Some fantastic live music in town. We'd like to thank our newest sponsor, the Kilmer Group. Thanks to you guys for sending us some dough so we can pay the fantastic musicians who come and appear on the show. We have to give a shout out to Stock and Row. That's these guys right here. They left a box of 24 cans of this, and it was for a promotion for a bar. And lo and behold, we drank it all. This is the last one. Sorry about that, guys, but your product is fantastic. And they are saying to us, they're doing home delivery now. The localstockstore.com. The localstockstore.com. Home delivery in the GTA, as well as Oakville and Burlington, and it is on tap at Spice.
Cool.
And ladies and gentlemen, what a joy it is, what a pleasure it is to have what I would say is the most important cog in this wheel of music that is in Port Credit. We have Johnny Botzel here. Johnny, what a pleasure to have you. Thanks so much for coming in. How you doing?
Thank you, Tom, Rick, for having us on the show. It's a pleasure being here. I'm doing great.
Cool.
Great. Now, usually, every time I see you in, well, the whole year, but mostly in May and June, you are running around, you're going crazy because you're putting together this massive festival, one of the biggest Canada Day festivals in the entire nation. And this year we didn't have it. So what's going on? Is there something cooking to replace it? How was that experience of not having it? Fill us in on the Canada Day situation.
Not having the live local music really hurt a lot because, we put on a big parade and they're all local bands that are playing in that parade. Anywhere from 20 to 30 bands that are in that whole parade, including classic cars and all the dress-ups that come along with a great parade.
Right.
And then, of course, our main stage, we miss all the local artists, and including some of the tribute groups that we've started out with, that we continue that on, but we move forward to local talent. And, I think as an event, we've seen that we want to support local talent a lot more and be more Canadian.
Right.
I'm pushing for Canadian music. That's right now on my main plate. That's
fantastic.
top of my list.
Awesome.
We got to go Canadian, and we want to give these artists a chance to perform down here and really highlight their talent. We have a lot of great Canadian talent in this country.
And you know, John, we've had two women on this show, Elise Mariah and Gracie. Gracie, you know, has signed a big publishing deal in America. Elise did a world tour, and both of them got their first opportunity to sing in front of really big crowds because you let them perform on the Canada Day stage. So you obviously have an eye and an ear for music and a great passion for it. Where does that passion come from?
Well, I think I've always had passion for music. It's food for my soul, and it's food for a lot of people's soul. Without live music, we're gone. It's no different than we're going from track music to now back to vinyl. We want to hear that original sound, you know, what makes your heart click, and it brings back fond memories. When you're a child, when you're listening to music with your parents, when you're a teenager, they're all fond memories. Some might be sad, but some are, most part, they bring us happiness and joy, and it brings us to supporting our community as a whole. There's nothing more important than live music. I mean, we feel alive. We're there. We're experiencing it. So there's nothing more important than that.
Right, and in the situation, as you know, there's been a bit of a struggle where the live music venues are saying, we need to be able to have live music outside. We're not having metal. We're not having metal, but why can't we have live music on weekends till 11? So they've managed to get 10:30. Where do you think that should go? Where do you think that the live music on patios should fit in the Port Credit community?
I think the live music on the patio should go right till midnight. It's a fair time zone that if people want to quiet down and go to rest. But I mean, my motto has always been, if you move behind a schoolyard, you're going to hear children play.
Right.
So you're going to have to live with it.
Brilliant.
If I move into Port Credit,
Yeah.
in a heavy industry where there's a lot of restaurants and bars, you're going to hear noise. I'm going to have to live with that, and that's part of that. Otherwise, you shouldn't be moved here. But there's a lot of people that move here because of the entertainment, because of the live music, because of the concerts that take place down here, and all the activity. Because a lot of people love to be around people, and we're no different than ants. We gather, and that's human nature. Without that, we're lost.
Now, one of the unique things about Canada Day is you get 20, 30, 40,000 people into the park. I've done so many Canada Day gigs in so many communities across the country. Even with big headliners, they don't get half that many people. What is your secret to getting that big a crowd for an all-day concert?
That, I'm going to tell you the truth. It's compassion, love for our community, which a whole board, including Diane, my vice chair, Howard, security team, Frank Giannoni, the whole board. They put so much love into having the event that I think that's the key success, and the community has embraced it. They embraced it as their event. It's their Canada Day. And I remember the first year people were going to the cottage. Then after that, they started inviting people down here.
Right.
So now we have that gathering. The other great thing about it is that we have such a diverse culture and society. They all come together, shoulder to shoulder, in that tight space. And there is no incidents that take place.
Right.
Listening to live music, they're all feeling the vibe. They love
You somehow managed to make what is at times a big rock show a comfortable family event.
Totally is.
And a lot of people have a hard time balancing that.
All the food stuff.
And we've managed that now. The success, again, is the community. They brought it. The business owners down here, all the restaurants, the bars that have live music, they all came together. They made this happen. It belongs to everybody. Yeah, we had the vision a long time ago. We sat down in a bar. I remember I was on the BIA, and a lady that lived in town that her husband passed away, her vision was to always have a Canada Day down here.
Right.
And that first year, Beatrice would tell you, we flew at a wing. We really winged it with no actual permits. We put a stage together in the park. I don't know how we did it, but we had such a crowd that
I'm glad you did do it.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
So before we let you go, John, what's up now? What are you planning for the future? What's on the horizon?
Well, we're hoping to plan something before the year end. I don't want to spill the beans right now. I can tell you it's going to be very exciting when the news comes out. We're waiting for clearance, hopefully from the city, and see what happens in September with COVID.
Right.
We want to make sure it's safe. We have a good layout for the park in terms of safety and that. And it might be the new norm for concerts actually going forward, because people have their space and it's kind of not one on top of each other, but
Yep.
yet you have your group of friends.
So you're hinting at, and I don't want to put words in your mouth here, but you're hinting at a early fall event, possibly of some kind in some
Well, let me put it
venue.
this way, before the new year.
Before the new year. John, have we left anything out you wanted to bring up? Because you got the ear to the ground when it comes to
Nothing.
this stuff.
We missed Canada Day this year, but we want to come back in flying colors, and we want to make sure we bring that live music back better than ever, and local talent, that's what we're looking at. And, you know, the board's in supportive of doing something, so we're just waiting now to have the go-ahead.
That
Right
is
on.
fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, the founding father of the Canada Day, of one of the greatest Canada Day events in the nation, Johnny Botso. What a pleasure to have you here today, and we will be right back.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, good evening. Here we are with one of my favorite performers in the whole wide world. Her name is Queen Pepper. Welcome, Queen.
Thank you for having me.
You're such a great performer. I've seen you perform in Port Credit many times. I've seen you at the Reservoir Lounge, where you've played for quite a while.
Yes.
And you recently released an album right before COVID.
I
Tell
did.
us about that experience. You put all this work, you want to go out and share this music with the world, and then this pandemic hits. How did you handle that, and what did you do?
Well, mostly for that album, it came out in October, so I got a lot of the publicity and stuff like that out of the way. I never toured it. I'm sort of learning as I go along. I've released jazz albums and other things like that, but and singles.
Right.
But I've never released a full original album. So when I put that out, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do, but I had big ideas for the next, like
Right.
all the new material I have, and that has definitely been halted. And I really don't know what to do now. And I think many of us are in the same boat.
I think that's the most honest answer everyone can give, is that
Yeah.
we don't know. We don't know how it's going to go. I mean, we just started working. Have you been working?
I have a little, yeah. Like I've done some commercial work, and I've done a few parties. I played, here and there, here and there.
And what's coming up? You're still writing a lot of songs?
I am, yeah. I mean, as much as my mental energy allows.
Right.
True.
So it seems like I'm figuring out now that my coping strategies for getting through COVID have been stripped down to the bare minimum: eating well, drinking lots of water, exercising, meditating, and music has managed to stay in there. So I guess at this point in my life, it's second nature, and it's part of my health regimen.
Right.
So I've been lucky that I can express myself that
Did
way.
you find during the COVID thing, did you find that you were more creative or less creative? Like your writing ability just was there or wasn't there?
In the beginning,
Yeah.
super there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was like, oh, I thrive in uncertain times. I know this territory. And then as it kept going, and it still is, kind of feels like the Twilight Zone, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I dried up a little, and I think I definitely was more depressed in the middle part of our whatever this is,
You're
you know.
writing, you're like, no one's gonna hear these right now. What am I doing this for?
Yeah.
I gotta vacuum the carpet or something, right?
Right.
I don't know, it just wasn't coming. But in the beginning, the song I'm going to be singing is one that came to me because I wrote a song called, am I allowed to swear?
You sure can.
Shit's going down. Yeah, so that was a tune that I just came out of me, and a bunch of others. I haven't managed to package them from front to back
Right.
quite yet, but I have a lot of ideas. And the one that I'm going to sing today is another one that, I don't know, I guess just sorting and dealing with things that are on my mind. And it's almost like a self-help song.
Right.
But it doesn't just relate to people. It could be anything that's just bugging me that the song that I'm going to be singing with you guys is "Leave Me Alone."
We're excited for playing it. We just learned it. It's a really great song. But before we ask you to sing that fantastic song, you also pivoted though, and you have an online show. Tell us about that.
I do, yeah. So I was planning on branching out into the online world before COVID hit. And in fact, I don't know, maybe it was about 2 weeks before we were all supposed to stay indoors. I had this little musician temper tantrum of, throwing the towel in and saying, screw this. I really don't enjoy putting my heart and soul out there, only for it to be, sometimes it feels like, pearls before swine. You're putting out your, that's a Bible reference, but it's just all out there. And I'm not good at holding back, and I know you guys are probably in the same boat. I just let it all out as soon as I start singing and I'm in that zone. So I was feeling pretty let down maybe by my interactions with audiences.
Right.
And maybe industry people. And I was just feeling a little hurt. And I said, screw this, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this anymore. I'll be whatever. And then the next day, I thought about it, smoked a joint, and I thought about it. And everything changed. I don't know if you have those cycles. Anyway, I said I'd rather sing in front of 2 people than a whole room full of a-holes.
Right.
And not that that's usually the audience, but it can happen sometimes. And, where you're just not appreciated. And, our sensitive, temperamental musician personalities often, we're sensitive. I am.
I couldn't agree more. You get that moment, and especially with the music business, what it is you can spend a year making an album, pour your heart and soul into it, try to squeeze every bit of creativity out, and then it's gone. And you get a few plays on Spotify, which pay you 1/100 of a cent. And the guy who owns Spotify is, you got to put stuff out every day.
I know.
That's the way the world is.
Terrible.
And how is it that guy's telling us how we make an art?
I hate that guy.
And it's so hard to get past. Why bother?
Yeah.
So
totally.
I'm so glad to hear that. I know why we bother is because we love it.
That's right.
And we wish there would be a mechanism where people who love what we do could support us without these new billionaires who are making money off of us and now telling us how and when to do our gig.
Well, what we need is a prominent star, a superstar, to make something YouTube or a Spotify, and then you put your music on that, and he has the rights to it, and he pays the artists accordingly. That's all we need is superstars to get together and get rid of this Spotify, YouTube, all that crap.
I could not agree more. However it's working now, it's not working for us.
It's not. No, I mean, my album did fairly well. It got close to 100,000 streams, and I didn't really see much money.
No, of course you didn't.
At all. And I was like, yay!
Because 12 million streams is like $1,000 or something ridiculous.
You can't live.
Something needs to be done.
But that guy, that guy is making millions of dollars.
Oh yes.
So clearly there's something offside. But
yes.
I don't want to get into the
politics,
into the musician rage right now because we have this beautiful song.
Yeah.
But when I play the song now, thinking about what you've just said, I think it's going to be even more excited.
Yes.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short pause to get ourselves set up, and we'll be right back with an amazing song from Queen Pepper. We're back with Queen Pepper. Tell us more about your show. I've watched it. It's so funny. It's so spur of the moment. It's so musical. It's got sort of so many elements.
Yeah. It's wacky for sure.
Wacky.
That's what I wanted to, packaging our artist persona. I always felt like keeping it slick was what I need to do, but then I was like, no, man, I want to just have fun in my basement or wherever, talking to myself. So I'm going to make it as fun for me as possible.
Right.
Yeah, so I do my shows Thursdays and Sundays at 8:30. I've had people on now in the backyard, and we've had guests.
And where can the people find you?
Where can the people find me? At The Queen Pepper on Instagram and The Queen Pepper on Facebook.
Right.
And my website has all the links.
And what's your website?
queenpepper.com.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
Pretty simple there.
All right.
Yes.
Tell us about this song.
Yeah. During COVID, people were rolling around in my head, and as I've become a healthier person, I have learned about boundaries and putting up boundaries, and learn to say no and learn to say leave me alone. So this is a tune. Yeah, for sure I had one person in mind, but it does encompass a lot of things, even if it's just a crappy thought that you want to kind of say, chill, leave me alone. So, and I think like it's become a mantra for me when I'm feeling it.
Right.
Leave me alone.
Right on.
I love it. Let's. Will you count us in?
Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Asked you to leave. Why couldn't you leave? You like to see me bleed. Don't care about my needs. I tried my best to help you. I tried to be a friend, but you throw too many punches. I walked away in the end. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Na 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 na. Na na na. Na 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 na. Na na na. You gotta be right. Can't ever lose or fight. You won't listen to me. You won't listen to anybody. I tried my best to be there. I tried to be a friend, but you throw too many punches. I walked away in the end. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. You saw my weakness, took pleasure in my fall. I told you my secrets, you weaponized them all. So please, 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 leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Yeah, leave me alone. 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 Na 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 na. Na na na. Na 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 na. Na na na. Na 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 na. Na na na. Na 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 na. Na na na. That's it.
That was so great, ladies and gentlemen. Queen Pepper, and we will be right back.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, that was fun.
Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You know, this amazing community of Port Credit is only as amazing as it is because people do a lot of hard work and look out for us, the citizens. There's an organization called TOPCA, the Town of Port Credit Association, and its president is here today. Her name is Mary Simpson, and she is going to tell us what is going on in Port Credit. And if you could also, maybe more broadly, just say, what is it that you guys do?
Who we are? Great. We started in 2006. It's a committee of volunteers. What we do is we connect the community with our elected leaders, with developers, with outside stakeholders or speakers at our town hall meetings, and we basically clarify the process to our residents. If you've got a large bill going in next door to you, you don't want to find out when the sign goes up and the house comes down. What we do is we keep people up to date on what's happening and how to reach out to your counselor, the planning department, committee of adjustment to share your thoughts.
Right.
Any concerns?
Right. Well, that seems. I certainly would not want to buy a house and find out a high rise is going up.
Well,
right
look
beside.
at Benson, the area over on the other side of Benson, where they're getting these semis that are going in with 120-foot long walls. that basically block out your light in your garden.
Right.
Many of the residents that live in that area simply say that they're going to put in their time and move when they're ready to retire, which isn't the way you want a community to build. You
Right.
want them to have house pride, and that's not happening,
Right.
not in that specific area.
And how did that happen, and how can it be prevented from happening in the future?
It became rampant in Benson. What it was speculators that were buying up a lot of the smaller bungalows with wide lots. They had 50-foot lots, which allowed them to put up 2 houses. They maximized the square footage on the property or the footprint, and they don't intend to live in it, so you don't have to get along with the neighbors.
Right.
You just have to maximize it and then flip it. And then you see a lot of them sitting for sale for up to a year because there's no market for it.
Right.
So that's the issue.
It's interesting here that this great community of Port Credit has a giant empty lot right in its downtown, no frills, sitting
Yes.
empty.
Yeah.
The only thing it's right now is a parking lot.
Yes.
Do you know what's happening there and why that's been sitting for so long?
Well, the owner is Dr. James, who also owned the post office, and he also holds the lease on the marina lands down at 1 Port Street. And the reason, ultimately, the goal is to put up a 10-story building, which will hopefully have retail, and we're hoping an affordable grocery store underneath, although the jury's out on whether that's ever going to happen. But his intent is to put up a 10-story building that gradients towards the lake. Now, south of where he's building on Port Street, on South Port Street, there's a lot of opportunity for development. Fram is putting in another 9-story building there. What's happening is he is waiting to see what height goes in so that he can ensure that he does have water view units at the top floor, because those are the ones that are going to command the most.
Great. Wow. Well, we got to get him on here.
We should get him
We should
on
have
here.
a chat. We should ask
I
him.
want
We
to
can't get him on here, but we should.
high is this going to be, sir?
And it just seems like such a waste of space for
Yeah.
speculating on a few bucks. Just to me, that's
Yeah,
how it seems.
yeah.
But you brought up the marina there, and we were just having a discussion that there was big plans from the arena that may be on hold. Can you fill us in what's happening at the Port Credit Arena?
Sure.
Marina.
It started about 8 years ago when it was decided that the marina lands, which is the boat storage facility that jets out into the lake, would need to be rehabilitated. And it would need to be developed in order to rehabilitate it. So that started the conversation about what do we do now? We've got a working marina, we have boat storage, we need space. The idea surfaced that what we would do is we would relocate the marina. So the city, and it's not cheap to do that. The city did an extensive study with a third-party organization who surveyed all of the marinas along the northern shore of Lake Ontario, I think all the way over to beyond Cobourg. And what they discovered that was unique about Port Credit is the fact that ours is a deep water marina. And they also picked up on trends, and the trends were that the baby boomers that are retiring, the boaters, are opting for larger boats. So it gave us a golden opportunity to take advantage of large boats coming into our marina, and it also, and the incremental spend, because you're going to get all of these boaters that come in, they want to come up, they want to spend money in town over the weekend, in the evenings, buy their groceries, buy their supplies, not groceries anymore, but pick up something for dinner, use our restaurants and shops.
Right.
So what's happened is that the understanding was that we were going to be getting money from all 3 levels of government. What's happened just recently within the last couple of days is that the province has decided that they are not going to pursue this money with the federal government. So we're a little taken aback. We refuse to go back to square one on this, because it's 8 years of public consultation and surveys.
Wow.
And studies. And so it's back with the city, and they are regrouping to decide what next steps are.
And can we, as community members, somehow apply pressure to our provincial representatives to try to get maybe some of this funding back?
Yeah, absolutely. Rudy Cozzetto is our member of provincial parliament for this area. I've reached out to him twice so far today to see if he can give me any updates, see how we can support him.
And no response?
No response.
Rudy, you got to
Rudy.
get back to Mary. Come on.
He's had him on the show. We got
8
his phone
years
number.
she was working on this project.
8 years, Rudy.
Or for all of the listeners to call him and
Right.
just say not okay. It's
He does
not.
have a
It's
phone
not
number.
cool. It's not cool to be pulling the money from this project.
Yeah.
150 jobs. A lot-
150 jobs.
And do
That's
you know there's
substantial for this community.
and there are a lot of people on liveaboards down there that you wouldn't be aware of. So it's creating a lot of it eliminates the public realm, which was the rehabilitation of the small pier that goes out, that would have allowed people to walk further out into the lake. There's a lot of a downside to it, and we're just trying to understand why the province would suddenly decide that it's not worth pursuing.
Right. Now, what else do you think are the main issues that Port Credit residents should be concerned about? Is there something flying under the radar? Is there something that you're seeing?
Yeah, there's definitely, I think with COVID-19 in particular, development applications are coming in like there's no tomorrow. And part of the Planning Act, the Provincial Planning Act, is that developers must hold a public meeting. There's no way around it. That's part of the rules. And of course, with COVID, there's your hall pass.
Right.
So what we're finding is that they will reach out to us, the community reps, and have an informal meeting with us and say, boom, tick that box, we've met with the community. And we're saying, no, you haven't. The call I'm going on at 5 o'clock, and one from last week, we invited 8 or 9 of our members to be part of it, because you always need to be going back to your membership to make sure that you've got the right message, that you're still on point, that they're still in agreement with some of the concerns. If they're fine with certain things, fine. We want to know about it.
Now, when you say developers, where's the line between someone, building a house or building a semi and someone building a high-rise? Like, what kind of development are you talking about?
We're talking primarily about the larger developments that are going in. I know that we did sit on a number of task force for issues regarding the Benson area with the size of the houses going in. That was back when Jim Tovey was our councillor, and he put some new rules into place which would limit the heights and the distance back that they could go. Also with Cumberland, when that massive home was built on the waterfront, we were part of a discussion around, do we create rules whereby you cannot take a 1,000 square foot bungalow that backs onto the lake and put up a 4,000 square foot home that blocks everyone's view. So for individual developments, no, but when there's a pattern emerging, yeah,
Right.
we do get involved.
I mean, we had Frank on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And I mean, there was some comfort in knowing that he lives in the community and
Yes.
kind of gets it. It's quite frightening that people are using COVID as an excuse to come here and say, well, we don't have to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for being on top of that.
Yeah,
And
no, we're
thanks for
happy to.
doing what you do. And if there's a situation that arises where we can do anything,
Mm-hmm.
we have a small but very supportive base of watchers,
Good.
viewers, and
We do.
we'd love to be engaged in those discussions.
That would be fantastic.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mary Simpson from Topka. Thanks so much for coming
My
in.
pleasure.
And we will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, two great friends of the show, Kurt Godwin and Gracie, are about to release a video for their song called Love I'm Holding. It comes out August 21st, but we have a very special global premiere. Ladies and gentlemen, the Matt Black finish featuring Gracie. This is Love I'm Holding.
My love comes down and meets me in a place of common ground where love can find a way, and it's love I'm holding down. Back and forth with your reflection, you never did see
After weeks of searching for Sir David Fletcher, we have finally ascertained his whereabouts. We go now live.
Studio 50, Margaret.
Fletcher, you're on!
I'm in Fletcher! I went to Cambridge! Fletcher.
Your own personal cooking. That's right, folks. Cooking with Carson right now.
Cancel culture. We need to cancel Chef Boyardee. He's an Italian stereotype. And plus, his name should be Chef Boyardee, not Chef Boyardee. It's like, hey, it's your boy RD. It's like a handle. Oh, hey guys. Carson Freeman, this is Cooking with Carson, and today we're gonna make a beautiful garden pasta. This is not a primavera per se. It's a pasta using a lot of delicious garden vegetables that are in season right now. Tomatoes, zucchinis, zucchini squash, basil, peas, you name it. Canada has a short season for agriculture, but we're in the midst of the best part of it. So today we're gonna make a healthy pasta. I'm gonna cook down a lot of these vegetables and they're gonna kind of turn into a delicious sauce that's gonna be full of nutrients, gonna be very healthy, but most importantly, it's gonna be really tasty and something that you could do at home. The reason I bury a lot of those within the sauce is for fussy eaters like my kids. I got 3 kids that don't always eat their vegetables, but when I cook the sauce this way, they really love it and super healthy, and you could try it at home. On the board here, I've grated the green zucchini, the yellow squash, and the orange carrots. So we have a lot of color in there. I'm using a red onion, some garlic, basil if you will, some shucked green peas. That took me a long time, so I hope you enjoy those. I have my little herb blend here, and I'm gonna talk about these tomatoes. So what I have is I have these vine-ripe tomatoes right here, okay? On the vine, they're beautiful. And what I did was I took one of them and I scored it, okay? I did a little X across the top. And then I put it in the boiling pasta water, and what happens is you can peel back the skin now, and you can take that off very easily. And then I chop them up and I put them in here. So they're gonna cook down really quickly. I'm not gonna use any jarred sauce or any paste, so we don't need this can opener. So let's get cooking. Move this over here now. My pan's been heating up. Here's some really good olive oil. Nice fruity flavor. And I'm gonna add, first of all, my onions. The zucchini, gonna go with them. The reason I grated these down very fine is because they will cook faster. And hopefully they'll be ready by the time the pasta water is ready. So let me get a spoon to stir this. A lot of moisture is going to come out of this as it cooks down. But these flavors are all infusing. Now, just to speed up the process of taking those flavors and extracting them, I'm going to use some salt. This is pepper. I'm going to use some freshly ground salt. And it's going to start to do its magic. Okay, so a lot of the moisture has evaporated from the zucchini, squash, onions, and carrots, and it's beautiful colors here. Notice this right now is already going to be a fantastic tasting, kind of like a ratatouille. I'm going to add now the garlic. I'm going to kind of find a spot in the middle. Put some garlic right there. Garlic is a great aromatic, as well as it has a lot of healthy properties. The cool thing when you're cooking with vegetables is the way they release their nutrients, the way your body metabolizes them. The best way to cook most vegetables to gain the most nutrients is going to be through steaming them. But there's some vegetables, we can't really get the nutrients out of them unless they're cooked right down. Other ones, they're best metabolized when they're raw. So it's kind of neat when you study nutrition like that. So I'm smelling the garlic, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my herb blend, okay? I do my own herb mixture. I use 1 part thyme, 1 part oregano, 1 part dill weed. They're all dried herbs, which are actually a stronger flavor than if they were fresh. And just half part of sage, because I find it will overpower. And I'm going to put some of that in there. And if you were here right now, you'd smell how that's really coming to life. A lot of times the herbs are added at the end, but what I like to do is put them right in the beginning so that each thing that we're adding to the pot becomes a little bit more aromatic. And now I'm going to add my tomatoes. Tomato juice and all. You can seed your tomatoes if you want, that's optional. But I really think you should use that technique of boiling them in the pasta water, coring and scoring, taking the core out and putting a little cut in it. And that's going to help you take the skin off, because the skin really isn't a great texture when you're trying to have like a pureed sauce. So right now it just looks like a salsa, a lot of chunks of tomato. I'm going to put the lid on and we're going to let this cook and reduce down, and that's where the flavors are just going to start to build. Oh, one more ingredient. Sorry, I am going to add just a little bit of white wine. Now, some people have convictions about drinking wine or even cooking with it. That's definitely an optional step, but it adds a little bit of regal richness to this that makes the sauce, just elevates it a little bit more. Lots of liquid there. That's going to create a sauce as it cooks down, and you're going to see a little bit of a transformation the next time I open this lid. Okay, this has been cooking down for about 5-10 minutes, and let's take a look, see what's happening. Yeah, beautiful sauce. And you can see some of the ingredients in here, but they're all married together. This is a beautiful vegetable sauce. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna add a few things. Now this is gonna really tick off my vegan friends. I'm gonna put in some butter, okay? This is a very chefy thing to do for a home chef. This is what happens often at a lot of the restaurants that you're eating at. A little pat of butter is going to make it glossy, but it's gonna kind of give it a little bit of creaminess that's very subtle but delicious. We don't want to add a lot of heavy cream or lots of butter because we want to make this a light pasta. What I'm going to do too, I talked a little bit earlier about steaming food and how we get the nutrients out of that. I'm going to add some fresh green peas. This sauce is just that. It's kind of broken down to a sauce. And with the pasta and the rigatoni, I'm cooking it al dente, but still, we just need a little bit of bite and a little bit of crunch, and those peas are going to give that pop that we need, and also that beautiful, vibrant green color. So I'm just going to get the pasta ready, and we're going to move over to the plating area. Okay, the sauce has been reducing further. The flavors are getting even brighter and more vibrant, delicious. And what we're going to do is we're going to add the pasta sauce right into the pasta. The water's been drained out of this, and it's cooked perfectly al dente. I'm just going to get this in here. I think all of it works fine. Stir this in nicely. I want to coat all of it, all nicely coated. And just for one more little bomb, I'm going to add some olive oil. Just beautiful flavors. And we're ready for plating now. Okay, here we have our garden vegetable rigatoni. Fabulous flavors. And because I already went vegetarian on my vegan friends, we're going to add a few more things. The first one being some great Parmesan cheese. Great, eh? I'm gonna do a great job with this too. Okay, so there we go. Beautiful Parmesan cheese. Make it snow there. And here I have some basil I did a chiffonade of. That just means a fine chop. For some greenery. And there you have it. Try this at home. A very tasty dish, but also super healthy. And it's gonna remind you of our short Canadian summers. Back to you, Tom and Rick.
One of my favorite segments on this program is produced by Mark Hughes, who is an unbelievably talented videographer. And this evening we have an equally talented singer-songwriter. His name is Chris Chambers. ladies and gentlemen, Under Cover of Night with Chris Chambers.
All right, this is John Cleary and the Absolute Monster Gentlemen. Well, this is me, Chris Chambers, playing a song by John Cleary and the Absolute Monster Gentlemen. This is called When You Get Back. She liked me fine when I was writing from Hong Kong, and dug it even better, talking long distance on the phone, and cool and sexy, getting that postcard from Brazil. When I get back home, all she wants to give me is chill. She said, when you get back, we gon' cha-cha all night long. But she lied. She said, when you get back, we gon' sing a different song. She lied. She said, when you get back, everything be hoochie-coo. But she lied. She said, when you get back, baby, I'll take care of you. But she lied. I flew in on the red eye, I put a quarter in the phone, and a voice said, leave a message, cause there ain't nobody home. I live in a hotel, I wonder where she's at. You know the girl's giving me the third degree. That ain't where it's at. She said, when you get back, we gon' cha-cha all night long. But she lied. She said, when you get back, everything be hoochie-coo. She lied. She said, when you get back, baby, I'll take care of you. But she lied. She said, when you get back, we gon' cha-cha all night long. But she lied. You know that 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 she lied. Oh, well. New York and London, I had it all planned out, but you should have seen how it all panned out. I live in a hotel, I wonder where she's at. The girl giving me the third degree. That ain't where it's at. She said, when you get back, we gon' cha-cha all night long. She lied. She said, when you get back, we gon' sing a different song. She lied. She said, when you get back, everything be hoochie-coo. She lied. She said, when you get back, baby, I'll take care of you. But she lied. You know that she lied. You know that she lied. You know that she lied.
Shore Grill and Grotto has always been a part of the community, and during these changing times, we are still here for you. Although things have changed, it's constant change that made us what we are today. Our restaurant is now open and is still committed to making fresh, fabulous food. We use only the highest quality ingredients to deliver great food consistently. Relax in our welcoming atmosphere with over 6,000 square feet of outdoor patios. Come and enjoy our outstanding customer service that caters to families and corporate events, as well as private dining and functions in our event rooms. It is always what we have done. It is what we will continue to do. So, what are you doing? Drop by and see us. We would love to see you.
Shore Grill and Grotto, it's a Shore thing.
less.